Hello children, let's come back to our English class, Module 2, Determiners. We have done 3 types. This module we will do distributives, quantifiers and interrogatives. This diagram must be familiar to you. You must have already drawn it in your copies or pages, whichever was available to you. Here we will be doing now distributives, quantifiers and interrogatives. Let's start with our determiners, distributives. As the word goes, you must be able to understand distribution. So distributives are words which explain the distribution of nouns, maybe individually or in groups. The words which come under distributives are either, neither, each and every. For example, if I say you can take either bus, that means either you can take bus number A or you can take bus number B. Suppose I say neither candidate deserves your support. That means none of the candidates is deserving your help or support or any other thing. So this is the way to use the distributives either, neither, and each, like each student of the class is wearing a smart dress. Every child wants a toffee. So these are examples, plus you can use any other sentence using these words and which are referred as distributives. Hope it must be clear now. Continuing, we have our next type of determiners, that is quantifiers. Words which explain the quantity or number of nouns. Many pens, much knowledge, some books, several sweets or several fruits, little sugar, any book or any such thing. Such words which are referring to the number or the quantity of nouns are called as quantifiers. Now in this quantifiers, many, much, some and all such words you are very familiar with. These two words which are now on your screen, that is little and few, though it is very commonly used words, but there is a little difference between the 3 types of these words. One is little, the other a little, and another is the little. Similarly, we have few, a few and the few. Now little and few are almost of the similar type of meaning. That means something less. But if we use an article a or the before it or without the article, then the meaning changes. So here I am going to tell you the meaning of these 3 words. You must have already remembering what we did in class 7 earlier, but yes, to remind you once again, little means not much, that means hardly nothing. Little or few, whatever it is, whether you are using little, whether you are using few, that means there is hardly nothing or zero. Suppose you say, I have few books in my bag today. That means you have a very less important book in your bag and no other book in your bag. So it is very, very less, almost equal to 0. Second comes here is a little or a few. That means it is less, but little bit is still there. That means it is not sufficient, it is not enough, but it is not 0. Suppose you say, I have a few books in my bag. That means you have books of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 periods, but not of all the periods. So that means the books are less, but there are some books in your bag. So we use a few, and in the same way we use a little. Next is the little and the few. Now here it means that you have though less, which is not sufficient, but whatever it is complete. Like suppose you say, as continuing with our previous example, the few books in my bag are sufficient for today. That means you almost have all the books in your bag, but maybe 1 or 2 books are missing. Yes? Or maybe you needed only 3 or 4 books or 5 books to be in for the school, and the rest you did not need. So they were less, but they were almost sufficient for that day. So you use the few. In the same manner, you can use the little, which means less but almost whole. I hope you must have understood these quantifiers. Now, first of all, to remind you, please note down all what you are seeing on your screen. Now, continuing with our determiners, the last types of determiners is interrogatives. This is very easy. You all understand that all the question words which are used to ask something or related to the noun are called as interrogatives, and since they are determining a noun, they are called as determiners. Example, what, which, whose, who, how many, how much, or any such words. Example, whose bag is lying on the desk? Which magazine are you reading? How many bottles of milk do you buy? How much money do you have in your pocket? Or any such things. So this finishes our chapter 1 of English grammar book, that is determiners. So the end of module 2. Continuing with our online classes, our next module will be our next chapter in our English grammar book, verbs. And the first chapter in verbs is present tense. So now the next English class, you will be studying about present tense. And now something special for you. A little fun time. You are at home. First of all, stay safe, stay at home, take care of all the necessities which are to be done, right? Washing your hands, using sanitizers, and all the other precautions. Be happy and utilize your time fruitfully. So one little brainstorming question. What is your body's largest organ? I know many of you must be knowing the answer. So give a smile to yourself if you know it. If not, try to find out. In our next module, I will get you the answer. Thank you.